Paul, there's something else the military is subject to. I'm an Army brat. I grew up in this world. But would the National Guard have the ability to object to that kind of order? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the military, you are allowed to and kind of expected to disobey an unlawful order. The issue I see here is, first of all, would the order itself be unlawful? And is it unclear enough that they might follow it because they're not sure if it's lawful or unlawful? And by the time we get to the stuff we were just talking about, where you're filing an injunction and trying to stop this in court, it doesn't really matter because it's already happened.
Well, we're going to find out, because what you're laying out is exactly the legal crossfire and the moral crossfire that Trump is deciding to inject National Guard troops into right now. This is not a dress rehearsal. In my view, this is the first step. This is the first engagement in part of a larger plan that he's been planning to execute for some time. This is where Trump is choosing to start. And it is unprecedented. It is dangerous. It is extreme. And to use the National Guard in this way at the objection of a governor is extremely dangerous in my view, and I think in the view of many military analysts, because this is creating a conflict that the troops are in the middle of. If you think about the average National Guard troop that lives in Los Angeles, they may be standing across from a family member who's protesting. The worst thing you can do is send troops into an unclear mission with unclear objectives, with unclear rules of engagement, and without the overwhelming support of the American people. And that's what we've got here in California. And if this is a dress rehearsal, which I don't think it is, think about what can happen in a state where he's got a supportive red state governor, where he won't have any objection. I think we'll see that start to unfold in the months to come if he stays on plan. And that's really what this is for Trump. This is on plan and moving forward. And I think this is by no means the end. This is the beginning of a very dark new chapter in American history.
You take a look at what happened in San Diego. There's so many different places where we let it burn. We want to be politically correct. We wanted to be nice. We want to be nice to the criminal. And what you're doing is destroying the fabric of our life in this country. No, we did the right thing. We've been given credit by people that I would least suspect. Why I would say that some of the people that came in and said, thank goodness, they said, some of them, thank God that Trump got involved. And I'm very happy I got involved. And I think Gavin, in his own way, is probably happy I got involved. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
What do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, it's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I liked him. You know, I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent. Okay.
From negotiators in London.
All right, that was President Trump speaking at an event in the White House, answering questions about the decision to send the National Guard to Los Angeles. He was being grilled there a bit by Peter Doocy from Fox News. One of the things he was asked was whether or not it could be actually good for Governor Newsom, or whether he thought he needed to do this. And the president said he'd been watching hours of television, he'd been watching the images, and people say, something we hear from the president a lot, people said we needed to do something. Trump said, quote, I feel we had no choice. Now, that obviously has been disputed by California officials and many other watchers, including possibly our own here at Msnbc. And I want to go now to the executive director of More Perfect Union, Faz Shakir, Peter Baker, and Paul Reichoff. Paul, I want to start with you. What is your take on what we just heard from the president, that he had no choice but to send the National Guard in, even though the governor said we don't need them?
Trump is on plan. This has been the plan. Trump has selected California, he's selected Los Angeles, and he's selected Gavin Newsom to wage this first political battle with a governor. And he has been dictating the pace and the terms of everything for the last couple of months. And he's now challenging Newsom and the Democrats and America to stop him. Whether or not this is bad for Newsom or bad for Trump, it's bad for America. It's bad for our democracy. It's bad for the troops in uniform. It's bad for ICE. It's bad for the protesters. It's bad for everyone. Who it's not bad for is Vladimir Putin and North Korea and any other enemies that want to celebrate America divided. So I think this is a test case for Trump on whether or not he can roll over Newsom. Is Newsom going to be a martyr, or is he going to be an example of what can happen in other states? But I think Trump is on plan. He's moving forward, and he's going to continue to do this and challenge other governors in days to come. But he picked Newsom, and now it's on.